Hello, and welcome to this edition of Perspective 254. My name is Agility Kesa. Today, we're discussing educational airlifts. The concept of airlifting students from Kenya to foreign countries for higher education dates back to pre-independence era. In the 1960s, the famous Kennedy airlifts, named after the then US President John F. Kennedy, saw thousands of Kenyan students flown from Kenya to the US for further studies. Under this program, US Senator John F. Kennedy's Family Foundation provided a grant to charter an airplane to bring 81 Kenyan students to the US for further studies. This initiative was crucial in building Kenya's post-independence leadership and professional class. Perhaps the most famous beneficiary of this program was one Barack Obama Sr. He was an economist who worked for the Kenyan government and later became a senior economist for the Kenyan Ministry of Finance. He is also known internationally as the father of Barack Obama, the 44th President of the United States. This program was initiated by Tom Mboya, a prominent Kenyan trade unionist and a statesman who recognized the need for skilled professionals in a soon-to-be independent Kenya. The program was a massive success, and many of the beneficiaries returned to Kenya to play a significant role in Kenya's post-independence development. Over the years, various other airlift programs have been initiated both by the Kenyan government and private entities, aiming to provide Kenyan students with opportunities to access quality education abroad and bring their skill back home for the development of the nation. Following the success of these initial airlifts, more Kenyan students were sponsored to study in the United States and other Western countries throughout 1960s and 1970s. These efforts were supported by various organizations, the governments, and philanthropy. Many of the beneficiaries of these airlifts returned to Kenya and played a pivotal role in the nation's development. They took up key positions in the government, academia, and the private sector. While the historical airlifts of the 1960s are the most renowned, the concept has not entirely disappeared over the years. Various organizations and initiatives continue to support the Kenyan students in accessing education abroad, though perhaps not as dramatically as chartering entire planes like the Kennedy airlifts of the 1960s. In recent years, the term airlift has been used metaphorically in Kenya to describe initiatives that facilitate mass access to global opportunities, not just education, but also in areas like technology and entrepreneurship. Now, with this historical backdrop in mind, let's talk about the recent airlifts to Finland scandal that has been all over the news lately.
First of all, mumetuita meeting sisi na wazazi wetu, mkasema meeting ni ya 9 am. Number 1, mulifika saa ngapi? Probably you don't expect me to ask such a question, but these are the people that you elected you for you to serve them. I may seem very foolish in front of you considering I am very young. Mr. Chelili, nilisoma na watoto wako watatu. Nilisoma na Beryl B. Ako UK saa hii tukiongea. Nilisoma na Bernard ako Australia. Nilisoma na Bill ako Australia. Tulisoma primary. Mr. Barorot, tukikuwa meeting ulituambia kuna watoto wako wengine wako majuu. Ukasema ati ukaambia wa parents. Parents, si hao watoto wote ni wetu. Si wote ni wetu. Ako wapi mtoto wa Barorot hapa asimame? Ako wapi wa B? Ako wapi mtoto wa Mandago?
Thanks to this situation, one Miss Mercy Taros, featured in this video, seems to have gotten her 15 minutes of fame. Sadly, though, it looks like this little fame now seems to be getting to her head. She was recently offered a job by the Narok Senator, Mr. Oledama Olekina, who was impressed by her bold attitude, and the girl had the guts to turn it down. She'd rather go back to selling uji and mandazi. Not that there's anything wrong with that. By declining the job offer from the Narok Senator, Mercy Taurus just shot herself in the foot. She would have been much better served by accepting the position and then fighting the system from within. There's this Kenyan expression that says pesa kidogo, blah, 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 blah. In this case, it's fame kidogo too, unaanza kukataa kazi. And yet, you are unemployed. Senator Oledima had his heart in the right place when he offered her the position, but the good Mrs. Taurus, a little bit of fame having gone to her head, decided it would be a wonderful idea to embarrass the good senator in public by saying no in the public domain, that is Twitter. As we speak right now, I'm sure Ms. Taurus is back to her business of selling Oji, while the good senator is sleeping comfortably in his manyata, most likely somewhere around Karen. Anyways, I digress. Let's move on. In 2021, the Uasin Gishu County government, in what seemed like a fairy tale offer, partnered with Tampere University in Finland. The deal was to airlift students from the county to go live, study, and work in Finland. And for many young Kenyans, this was a golden opportunity and a golden ticket they could not afford to pass. The county government partnered with the university to facilitate the students with visas, bank statements, and scholarships, and thereby bypassing the usual immigration hurdles they would normally face in trying to apply for a visa. Many, especially those from humble backgrounds, had enthusiastically applied for the opportunity, hoping it would save them from the tedious immigration process that comes with obtaining travel documents to foreign countries. The county government, which was to act as the middleman for tuition fees, collected money from eager parents and students. The program assured employment in Finland after course completion, leading many families to invest heavily in this opportunity, some selling assets, others taking on crippling debt, all in an effort to ensure children could get the coveted opportunity to go to Europe for an education. The first batch of these learners left the country in September of 2021, 3 months after the deal was signed. The 51 students were to pursue medicine and other science-related courses. 25 were going to pursue degree courses, and 26 were supposed to pursue diplomas. Fast forward a year later, and the dream has turned into a nightmare.
Look at us, faint-hearted. Look at us. We even visited one of our fellow students who was nearly committing suicide because of an individual.
The county did not remit the money to the universities as promised. Students who had already paid were left stranded, both financially and academically. Earlier this year, up to 200 Kenyan students found themselves on the brink of deportation from Finland. Why? Because of a cascade of unpaid tuition fees. At the heart of this crisis was Lorea University of Applied Sciences, a prestigious institution sprawled across southern Finland. According to our sources, the problems are related to the students who arrived from Uasin Gishu province, the vast majority of whom had started their studies at the prestigious institution last fall. It was reported that almost half of the nursing and psychotherapy students who arrived at the university from Uasin Gishu were at the risk of losing their right to study unless they or their families paid the cost of their studies to the county. Lorea had made an agreement only with the county government, which in turn had agreed to handle payments with the students. According to the school administration, false information had also been given to the administration by the county government administration. For example, that the Uasin Gishu county government would pay the students' living expenses, although this did not happen. The county government acknowledges some managerial issues and is working towards resolving them. However, concerns remain, with some parents and students feeling misled and demanding more transparency and refunds of their money. In addition to the issues faced by the students who are lucky enough to travel to Finland, there is also another batch of students who applied and paid up and are still stranded here in Kenya. This is despite having paid hefty fees ranging from 900,000 shillings to 1.2 million shillings. The county government has attributed this delay to visa processing challenges. The students have now been forced to pursue their courses online, and they are uncertain on whether they will ever travel to Finland as anticipated, almost a year down the line. One of the alleged victims of the scheme, who is yet to travel to Finland, disclosed that she paid a total of 1.27 million shillings to the county government to pursue a 2-year diploma course in Finland. She explained that she paid 918,000 shillings for tuition, 180,000 shillings for accommodation, 47,000 shillings for her visa, and 27,000 shillings for insurance. Quote, "We were issued with a bank statement after depositing the money in a KCB account and waited to fly out. But in August, we were asked to start online classes due to delays in visa processing. Some of the students who managed to travel to Finland on their own found out that they had been enrolled in courses that either they had not applied for the courses, or 2, the courses did not exist at all. Others were stranded in Finland without accommodation, food, or money. Some students who paid for the program never left Kenya because they did not secure university admissions. The payments were made between 2021 and 2022. Governor B revealed that the county cannot refund the demanded money, as 33 million shillings of that money is unaccounted for. Revelations have also emerged about Kenyan students in Finland facing severe depression due to this controversial study program. Roger Skipruto, a nursing student, tragically died by suicide a few months ago. He had been desperate to return to Kenya, but the friends persuaded him to stay. Many students are severely depressed due to financial constraints and the pressure of daily obligations in Finland. They were deceived into thinking that they would be employed as nurses and that their studies would only take 1 year. Most of them regret leaving their jobs here in Kenya for this ill-fated Finnish dream. And As if this is not enough, some students in sheer desperation have resorted to unthinkable means of making money, including prostitution, just to make ends meet. The current governor, Jonathan B. of Uasin Gishu County, stepped into the spotlight, acknowledging the challenges, but also pointing fingers at his predecessor, Senator Jackson Mandango.
Ni ukweli pia previous administration pia wakuje waeleze ni nini wanajua kwa mambo haya. Governor Mandago, now our senator, yeye pia akuja aeleze ni nini anajua kuliko hapo. Siwezi beba msalaba ya mwingine, kila mtu aende na msalaba yake, ama namna gani?
And so began the blame game between the two guys. On one side is the current governor Jonathan B, and while on the other side is the former governor, now the senator for the county, Jackson Mandango, under whose regime the program was actually initiated. The controversy reached its peak when some parents began to label the entire arrangement as scam. Governor Jonathan B has publicly confronted his predecessor Jackson Mandango, who is now the Uasin Gishu senator, over the controversial airlift program. B challenged Mandango to explain the situation to upset parents and students who are demanding refunds for the tuition fees that they paid through the county government for studies in Finnish and Canadian universities. A substantial amount, approximately 33 million shillings, still remains unaccounted for. In a recent press conference, Governor B clarified that the current balance of the trust account dedicated to the program stands at only 1.8 million shillings. He emphasized the need for Senator Mandango to provide clarity on the matter, given the program was initiated and managed during his administration. The situation escalated when the aggrieved parents staged a protest at the county offices, even detaining Deputy Governor John Borod for a period. They have issued an ultimatum to the county government demanding a resolution within 5 days, failing which they have threatened to disrupt an upcoming devolution conference. The governor has expressed his commitment to addressing the concerns of the parents and students, but maintains that the Senator Mandango should be held accountable for the inception and management of the program. During a press conference, Governor B highlighted that the trust account designated for this program currently holds only 1.8 million shillings, making it challenging to refund the aggrieved parties. The situation has understandably caused distress among parents who had invested in the program, expecting their children to pursue higher education abroad. Their grievances culminated in a protest at the county offices, during which they sought answers and demanded refunds. A further investigation into the program's financial management revealed the involvement of the Uasin Gishu Overseas Trust. This is the trust responsible for handling of the funds, and it operates independently of the county government. A concerning revelation was that the trust continued to receive funds even after the discrepancies became public knowledge. The current financial situation of the trust account makes it difficult to address the refund demands of the parents. Governor B has indicated that the available funds are insufficient to meet the obligations. Mandango, along with Governor Jonathan B and the Deputy Governor Jonathan Borod, are facing accusations of mishandling the program. As a result, numerous students who had paid significant amounts of money for their studies abroad are now left stranded. In response to this, parents and students have been protesting in Eldoret, demanding a refund of their payment. Behind these numbers and political drama, though, there is an actual human cost. Many students have reported severe depression due to the pressure that they have faced as a result of this. Roger Skipruto's tragic death highlighted the dire situation with revelations that he had been depressed and had even contemplated returning to Kenya as a result. Other students echoed similar sentiments, expressing the regret over leaving their jobs in Kenya and the hardships that they faced in Finland. Parents sold properties to pay for their children's trips and stay abroad. Some students are stranded abroad due to fee arrears. The governor is offering some psychological support, but the damage is done. As this story unfolds, one thing is clear: transparency, accountability, and effective communication are paramount. The students, their dreams hanging by a thread, deserve answers. Roger Skipruto's suicide should be a stark reminder of the human cost of bureaucratic blunders and broken promises. So, to the Uasin Gishu County government and all involved, if you're going to promise a dream, maybe make sure you're not turning it into a nightmare. And to the students affected, we see you, we hear you, and we hope for a resolution that brings justice to all in this matter. That is all for tonight. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and good night. Cheers.